Okay, so imagine getting like a potential diagnosis for a rare disease just by typing symptoms, into a search bar. I mean, it sounds pretty wild, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the direction we're heading in.
And that's exactly what we're looking at today,
That's right.
this PUMCH-GENESIS
PUMCH-GENESIS.
in China.
Yeah, so this is a big deal for a couple reasons. So this is China's first foray into AI, specifically for the diagnosis of rare diseases.
Okay.
And it uses something that you've probably heard of a lot in the news, which is this large language model.
Oh, yeah. That's everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's basically the same technology behind those AI chatbots that you've probably played around with or heard of. But this one's specifically trained on rare disease data, which is really interesting.
And today we're looking at an article in the Global Times that talks all about this.
That's right.
And yeah, I mean, this is a topic that kind of hits close to home for me. I have a very close friend who went through years of uncertainty trying to get a diagnosis for her child.
Oh, wow.
And it was a rare disease, and it was just heartbreaking to watch her go through that. Just, all these doctor's appointments and tests and, kind of this maze of the medical system.
I can only imagine how difficult that must have been.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's something we see very often.
Yeah.
Rare diseases, by definition, each one is rare, but collectively they affect a lot of people.
Right.
But because there are so many different rare diseases, the sheer diversity of them makes diagnosis incredibly difficult. And so that's what often leads to these delays in treatment and misdiagnoses, which is really a problem.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's really where this PUMCH-GENESIS system comes in. It has the potential to address a lot of those issues.
So can you tell us a little bit more about, like, how exactly it works? What makes it special?
Sure.
I know it's using this large language model, but...
Right. So it was developed by Peking Union Medical College Hospital and the Chinese Academy of Sciences. And, it's interesting to think about how it works, right? So imagine, like, feeding a computer program, like, countless medical textbooks and research papers. So essentially, that's kind of what this large language model is. It's absorbed all of this information, and then it can use all of that knowledge to then analyze, you input symptoms, and then it analyzes those symptoms and compares them to this massive database of rare diseases.
Okay.
And the article even gives this really compelling example. They talk about how if you input symptoms like developmental delays, you could get potential diagnoses like Rett syndrome or Angelman syndrome popping up.
Wow.
Within seconds,
And that is so much faster.
It's incredible.
Than what a lot of people have to go through.
Oh, absolutely. And we've seen other diagnostic tools come out, but what really makes this AI stand out is how it handles the problem of limited data.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's a huge obstacle in rare disease diagnosis. You just don't have the large data sets that you would with some other conditions.
Right.
So PUMCH-GENESIS has this really cool approach where it combines a small initial data set with the knowledge and expertise of these top clinicians in the field.
So it's kind of like learning from experience.
It's like having this apprentice who's learning from the masters, right?
Yeah.
Which is just a brilliant way to get around this issue of limited data.
I can see that.
And another thing that's really important is that this model is specifically tailored to the Chinese population's genetic characteristics, making it like a world first in that sense.
Wow. So it's not just about speed, but also accuracy.
Yeah.
And relevance, right?
Absolutely. It's about making sure that it's accurate for the specific population that it's being used for.
Yeah. And if it really is faster and more accurate, what other potential benefits could we see from this?
Well, I think, a quicker diagnosis means that patients are going to get access to appropriate care and treatment much faster, which can make a huge difference in their lives. And another thing that's really promising is that it could empower primary care physicians to identify rare diseases earlier on.
So they don't have to.
Exactly. It can cut down on the need for all those referrals to specialists.
Right.
Which can be a really lengthy and frustrating process for patients, as you were saying.
Right. So it could save a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of
absolutely
heartache, I imagine, too.
Yeah.
But, even with all this amazing potential, I just wonder, wouldn't specialists still be needed to confirm the diagnosis and, to actually plan out the treatment?
Oh, absolutely. This is a powerful tool. We don't want to overstate its capabilities.
Yeah.
It's not meant to replace doctors. It's meant to be an aid in the diagnostic process.
So it's more like
It's like
giving doctors more information to make those decisions.
Exactly. It's about giving them more information faster to help them make better decisions for their patients.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And how far along is this technology? Is it something that patients can actually access right now?
Well, the great thing is it's already in public testing in China. So
Wow.
patients can actually use it to get a preliminary diagnosis. They can also book appointments through it, which is really cool.
Okay.
And they're already working on the next phase of development. So the next phase is going to be focused on developing tools specifically for clinicians.
Okay.
So that's going to include things like medical note generation and even genetic counseling support.
Wow.
So it's going to be a really comprehensive suite of tools for clinicians to use. And the article even talks about plans to integrate it into a national rare disease network across China.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would be a huge development.
Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. I mean, so I guess when we look at the big picture here,
Yeah.
I mean, this PUMCH-GENESIS system seems like it's a really big step forward for AI in healthcare.
It really is. It's a really exciting development.
Yeah. And it has the potential to really improve the lives of people with rare diseases, right?
Absolutely. It has the potential to, just completely change the diagnostic journey
Yeah.
for so many people.
And it makes you wonder, I mean, what other medical mysteries are out there that AI might be able to help us with in the future?
It's hard to even imagine, right?
It is, like what breakthroughs might be just around the corner.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty exciting time to be looking at this technology.
It really is. It's a fascinating field.
It is.
And who knows what we'll be talking about a year from now.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks so much for breaking all this down.
My pleasure. It was great talking about this.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
All right.
Okay, and we'll be back next week with another deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Okay,
All right.
see ya.
Bye.